These men say it's their duty as Palestinians to protest against Israel's occupation. They put together their kite, clipping its tail, which they say will give it balance as it carries the burning cloth over Gaza's border fence. They soak the sackcloth in petrol and oil because they say it helps it burn slowly.
We are here to prove to the whole world that we will never leave our land. We're going to launch burning kites towards that occupied land. I'm not afraid of the Israelis. I'm only afraid of God.
Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh sits close by. He has come to support the protesters. Hamas say the kites and balloons that carry the burning rags into Israel are a peaceful form of protest.
Israeli snipers have been targeting balloons that the protesters have been launching well behind the main demonstration. These protesters say they will continue launching their kites, holding those incendiary devices until Israel lifts the siege.
The men light the rag and the kite drifts off towards the border fence. Israel says fires started by protesters have destroyed large areas of crops and private land. Protesters set fire to tires, which they use as cover from Israeli army snipers positioned along the fence. Israeli tanks targeted Hamas positions along the border after news that an Israeli soldier had been injured. The Israeli army later reported that the soldier had died from his wounds. Protesters climbed the walls of a building being used by the Israeli soldiers. The army responded with tear gas and what sounded like live ammunition. An Israeli drone flew overhead. More than 140 protesters have been killed since the weekly demonstration started 4 months ago. The Israeli army shot this man in the leg during a protest in April.
I'm sending a message to the occupiers that this is our land and you came and took it from us. You Jews who came from France and England and around the world, here it is our land and we inherited it from our grandfathers and before them.
The Israeli government is under pressure by some politicians to launch a large-scale military offensive to stop the protesters. As the day ended, Israeli fighter jets targeted various Hamas bases across Gaza, including this one in the densely populated neighborhood of Zaytun. The Ministry of Health says at least 3 civilians were injured in this attack. Stratford, Al Jazeera, Gaza.